Yeah, why are we here this afternoon? Well, as you know, Sweden is a so-called welfare state, but despite that, or maybe even because of that, that's the bigger question. And despite that, we are still second-class citizens. Any government official report on this matter comes up with that when it comes to education, when it comes to labor market participation, income, number of social relationships, one's own family, we are underrepresented. We are underrepresented in business, in politics, in culture, in the media, in the arts, in science, you name it. So what are we doing about it? Well, the disability movement has often been and is still very much engaged in lobbying. Everybody has their personal politicians, apparently, and approaching them and bothering them and telling them what they should do and how bad it is. We've been using that as an instrument. We've had demonstrations. I remember I used to sit in the 70s, no, I'm exaggerating. It was the 80s, 90s, in the cold outside the Ministry of Social Welfare. And now it would be too cold for me. I'm too old for that stuff. We've been doing this a lot, demonstrating. We've been demanding better legislation. But we've never came up with the actual text, what that legislation should be and how it should be formulated. Why not? Because we haven't had the resources. We don't have the expertise it takes in legal matters. Our organizations don't have it. If they have any lawyers, they're busy defending their members' rights to things like personal assistance. And the right to be able to enter any voting booth, the right to go by train, etc. Well, that's all nice and fine in a theoretical way, it seems, but I have to get out of bed. That seems to be more important to people. And rightly so. So we haven't been doing this. But in other places, like the US and other Anglo-Saxon countries, they've had a long tradition of disability organizations fighting systematically in the courts, using all the laws they had at their disposal. And we need to learn from that, because for us this is rather new, despite the fact that we have quite a number of laws. Sweden has an anti-discrimination law, and recently in January 2015 we got an amendment which declares lack of access as an act of discrimination. The law is hardly tested. It's almost 2 years now, and there haven't been that many cases. There's no legal work, no case work. So we have to catch up on a lot of things. And we have a project with Lagen verktyg, as Paul explained. He's the project coordinator, with money from the National Inheritance Fund, Arts Fund, so we get a word for them in here too. And we're doing our best, and this is part of that meeting. And we invited people who can help us along this way. Sid Wolinsky has been active in the field for 50 years. I've met him in '85 in Berkeley when I was at the fellowship there, and he's fought very successfully cases which he can tell us about. And I think we have a lot to learn from them and other people. A few years ago we had a seminar with Esther Silvan from Bishut, which is an outfit in Jerusalem. Israel doing very good work the same way, using the law as a tool. Okay,